Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, everybody. How are we doing? How are we doing? Thank you to everybody who watched the video this morning. We're going to do a little bit of a deep dive. I want to go over this rally. Thank you, Deborah, for this honor, for your contribution. I appreciate you. To Couch 2K24, salute. So I know that it's always a big deal to talk about anything concerning these candidates, okay? Especially in our community, we are very emotional about it. In a lot of cases, unreasonably so, in my opinion. Sometimes we're so emotional about the votes and who to vote for and why that we fail to think critically, or we forget. Sometimes we forget our history here in this country. We forget that. I think we forget that. I think we forget it. We get lost in talking about certain things. But I'm not going to drill down on that part. What we're going to do is we're going to go over this rally that Kamala Harris just had in Atlanta. And it was a piece of crap. It was a piece of crap. I didn't see the value in it. I did not see the value at all. I still don't know what her running platform is. I still don't know what that is. I'm going to tell you what else I don't like. I don't even like it. I don't even like it. Because I didn't really do the housekeeping that I was supposed to do. Give me a quick little second. Because the link actually reminded me. Thank you, Miss Nicole, for the link. I was wondering why the attendance was so low. I forget that YouTube doesn't like to send the notifications. So give me 1 second. Okay. My apologies. Okay. I'm going to tell you something else before we get to the video. And hopefully they don't do a copyright thing. You know, sometimes they like to do a copyright thing when you play official videos. I might have to take the hit on this one monetarily. I don't know. I'm going to try to just play snippets or something. I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to tell you what I don't like. I don't like that we even got to talk about whether or not Kamala Harris is black, whether or not what kind of heritage she got, this, that, and the third. And the reason why I don't like it is because what does it matter? What does it matter? I don't like it that that's such a big thing for us in the black community, whether or not a politician is black. So therefore, we got to get behind them no matter what because black. I don't like that. I wish we could get rid of that because ultimately that don't matter. It's so many black people in different positions that don't help black people. How many black female mayors is it that don't help nobody? And not even just the females. Sometimes it's the black male mayors. Are they doing anything on the local level to help black people in any kind of way in their city and in their state? Are they lobbying, you know what I'm saying, and representing to the governor of that state to make sure that the people in the city get the things that they need? I mean, I don't like that I don't like it that Kamala can use it at all and have that be we gotta vote for her because she the first black. What I don't know, no, and no. And that's gotta be talked about. That's got no, because it becomes that's the only thing we talking about. And then we forget that she's a politician and that she has a job to do in service of the people. So in the interest of that, we need to be talking about what her mindset is, what her viewpoints is, what is her politics. Because just because she's melanated, what has that ever meant for us? What has that ever meant to us? What? It's only so many people in our history that was truly down for us. And they gave their life for it. I don't like it that she introduced Meg Thee Stallion to come out there and twerk because that was supposed to, you know, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's see if I can play any of this without blowback. Now, for whatever reason, this video starts with him speaking. It's an hour and a half long, but I'm aware that it cut off because it surprised me that it picked up here in him in mid-sentence. So I'm aware that Stacey Abrams spoke, and apparently before him, because this video here picks up during his speech. Now, I don't care about his speech. I want to show you something. So he's talking, right?
Of another virus I call COVID-19. When there were those who were trying to divide us, because that's what people do who do not have vision. They traffic in division. They don't know how to lead us, and so they try to divide us. Who would have thought that when Joe Biden won the White House, we'd be waiting to see who would have.
One more time.
This is when
Atlanta, Georgia, for our Dream Team senators, Senator John Ossoff and Senator Raphael Warnock. Are y'all tired or are you still in the building?
Now, mind you, look at the timestamp. 12 minutes and 38 seconds. They're gone. Let's fast forward. Do you see anybody on the podiums? Do you see anybody on the podium? What about now? Anybody on the podium? Anybody on the podium? Anybody on the podium? Anybody on the podium? Nobody yet? Nobody now? We don't get somebody out here until this happens. And I cut the sound off specifically. So the video has sound, but I cut the sound off because we don't need to hear it. Now, why did I show y'all that? Why did I show y'all that? The dead air. Let me talk about the dead air. The dead air? Huh? Like almost a half an hour of dead air? Not even the speeches? What happened to the keynote speakers? Where were the keynote speakers at? You could have had how many speakers? You know what I'm saying? We line up a bunch of speakers. Every person has about 10 minutes max where they come out. You know what I'm saying? We vet what they're going to say or tell them what they should say. All right. And we keep the audience engaged until Kamala gets there. She's late, by the way. She's late. She's late. I saw that that stood out to me. The dead air stood out to me because I used to do customer service years ago. And that was the number one thing to get you fired. The number one thing, I don't care how you resolve the person's issues. I don't care how good you were at resolving an issue. If you were talking to a customer, the customer called you and it took you 4 minutes to resolve their issue, but you did so in radio silence, you about to get called, you about to get called up. What is this? Why you got so much dead air? Why you got it's a horrible call now. I don't care if you ultimately resolve their issue. It was dead air. And all that dead air, that'll get you fired. Keep going. Keep doing a call like that. Keep doing a call like that where you're not updating the customer. You're not giving them, you're not building a rapport with them as you work. nothing, you're not saying nothing to them, oh, you're about to get fired. Dead air is a no-no. It's a no-no. And when you're the customer on the other end of the line, you get why dead air is a no-no, because you don't know what they're doing or not doing. So the fact that there was 20 or 30 minutes worth of dead air where the crowd is not being engaged, no one is being edified, there are no issues being discussed, there are no speeches, there are no keynote speakers, there are no important people out of the administration within Georgia's government. There's no one that is there to engage the audience on a serious note and until Vice President Kamala Harris shows up in order to do her speech. Why not? They so busy trying to play not like us. And that's my jam. But not when you're the not like us. Completely went over their head what Kendrick was even talking about and why the song stick the way it do. I don't like it that all of that time was wasted. Just had people in the place, in the building, trying to do a DJ, trying to be lit. It's not a party. It's a political rally. It is there so that the candidate can address issues, tell the people what they running platform is about, make a speech about the policies and the politics that they have, what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? When they get into office, what kind of administration the people can look forward to. And you're supposed to have them in good spirits and things of that nature. But at the same time, you also supposed to give the people something to walk away with, because the whole purpose is to compel them to vote for you when the time comes to vote. And you want to give them memorable things. You want to give them memorable things to think about that you said in these rallies. Something compelling. Not a DJ. It's not a club. It's not the club. So instead of having somebody to fill that time by talking to people, engaging the audience in a good way, a high-spirited way, high energy, but yet at the same time, you understand that this is a political rally, not the club. We don't want nobody busting out twerking. But lo and behold, they did have somebody twerk. Trotted out Meg Thee Stallion, trotting out these rappers. First, it was Cardi B. When Biden-Harris, the first time around, it was Cardi B. Right around the time WAP came out. Now they got Meg Thee Stallion twerking and acting a fool. They introduced her as a rap artist and a philanthropist. If she was so big into philanthropy, why not give a speech? Yeah, I am Meg Thee Stallion. However, I'm not coming here to shake my butt. Y'all can come to my concert for that. But what I am here to do is talk about the issues that are of concern. She's supposed to be college educated, correct? She's supposed to be college educated, correct? So why not have her use that little quote unquote big brain and come out there and actually talk? Show how intelligent you are. Show that you got range. I do more than twerk. So they had that foolishness. And once again, please understand that I have cut the sound on certain parts. on purpose. So we got to watch this foolishness go on. Then it finally stops. Finally, it stops. And then now they're playing Not Like Us. Let me talk about that for a second. Not Like Us. I'm not paying too much attention to the chat. However, we're not going to have no arguing and no trolling in this chat. If you don't get what I'm saying, then say you don't get it and be quiet and listen. But what I won't tolerate is coming into the chat and trying to have an argument of any kind about issues that we're not talking about. Because I will just kick you out. I will just kick you out. We are not doing low comprehension here. Now, and I really need to do that breakdown of Kendrick and Drake. It's been like almost 3 months now since. So the fallout is kind of evening out. So now I can do it. I can talk about it now. And the cultural relevance. Not Like Us, my jam. It's a whole bop. But it's more than a bop. And I'm not going to get into why Kendrick says what he says in that song about Drake and why Drake isn't like us. So many people thought that he was talking about Drake's biological heritage, his genealogy, whether or not his father was black or in it. And that was not what Kendrick was talking about at all. You weren't talking about that. Kamala Harris is not like us the same way Drake is not like us. Interesting, she went to Atlanta just to get a check balance. Had nothing to do with whether or not there was black in the bloodline. It had everything to do because ethnicity and culture are actually two very different things. Drake is not culturally black. He's not even culturally American. Culturally, Drake is a white Jewish man from Canada. Argue with your mama. He was raised by his Jewish mother, an Ashkenazi Jew, and from them, that's passed through their mother's line, not their father. He was raised in Canada. Nothing wrong with that, but he was raised in Canada by a white Jewish woman in a white Jewish neighborhood. Had a whole bar mitzvah, whole thing. And that's fine. Nobody's mad at that. Nobody's mad at that. But that makes him culturally not American. And culturally, he's not an American black. So he doesn't identify. Okay? He doesn't identify. He placed himself next to black culture to benefit from it without having any respect for the culture that he was benefiting from and without having any real care about it either or the people that it represented. He was able to make his money, make his career, things of that nature, cosplaying as an American black man, of which he is not. Kamala Harris is not like us for the same reason. She's not culturally American black. She was raised by her mother, who is Indian. Nothing wrong with that. But that's her culture. Now, she's a melanated woman, but we're not talking about that. But when it is convenient, she sits juxtaposed next to black people because it benefited her, because she's melanated. It benefited her to do so at times. So she went to an HBCU, you know, she climbed through the ranks. She's a black woman, da-da-da-da-da. So she's receiving benefit from the black community. This rally we just saw was her attempting to benefit from the greater black community without really having any care about the black community or how she can benefit it, only how it can benefit her to help her win this election. Okay? Now, as soon as she gets into office, we're not going to talk about the identity anymore, just like she did last time when she told you that she was Asian, that she told you she was Asian. Remember when the American Asian Pacific Islander bill was passed? Remember that? And she was like, oh no, I'm Asian. My mother is East Indian. So that's considered what? Southeast Asia? India? So she claimed that heritage at that moment because it was more beneficial to say that. So it's ironic to me to try to capitalize on a black cultural moment that Not Like Us represents when you're not like us. That's interesting. That's interesting. Shows that you don't even understand what the song means because you wouldn't have wanted it played if you really understood that you were the target. I don't mind you talking to me nice, but don't talk to me disrespectfully. What I found to be disrespectful about this rally is that there are no real pieces of information given to the black community at large and the people that she was speaking to at that event. So that a conversation can actually be had among black people to say, you know what, her policies are really good. We really feel good about that vote. And we are going to vote for her in November, not because black, not because a woman, but because these policies sound good. She seems like a competent leader. So therefore, she's the best choice. That's how you're supposed to vote for anybody. If you believe that one candidate is legitimately better than the other candidate, and so therefore you are going to cast your vote for that particular candidate, then do so. At least it's informed. It's informed. And people can agree or disagree, but at least you're doing so not from a place of emotion and it was lit, so that ain't never got us nothing. I want you to drop the race thing altogether and get down to brass tacks. What we gonna do about this economy? This horrific inflation, you just gonna watch it keep going up? Or what are you going to do? What will the economy look like under a Kamala Harris administration? That's what I want to know. What is that going to be? What's that going to look like? Are you still going to, under your administration, is taxpayer money still going to be going to Ukraine? And then the Ukraine immigrants coming here, the Ukraine refugees coming here to take up space from Americans who are displaced already? What are you going to do about that? What does a Kamala Harris administration do about that? What does a Kamala Harris administration think about the border situation? There's an influx of illegal immigrants coming into America. So much so that there have been different cities across the nation that have declared themselves sanctuary cities. New York is one, Chicago is another. However, the residents who live there, who have been living there, are suffering the consequences for having so many people coming in and utilizing the resources that really should be going to American citizens. What is a Kamala Harris administration going to do about those things? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Is that or is that not important to our day-to-day realities? I don't want to hear about women's rights to baby deletions. I don't want to hear about how we gonna pop up more Planned Parenthoods. I don't want to hear about that, because Black people are already going through a genocide for that. The silent genocide of how many Black babies have been sucked down a tube in a Planned Parenthood. Let me give you something else. They begin to get ready to introduce her. Okay. Yet, nobody's up there yet. Nobody's even talking yet. Oh, they played the music. They were supposed to be, she's supposed to be up there. She's late. She's late to her own rally. Then at around here, Quavo comes out. Mind you, again, I cut the sound on purpose. Quavo comes out. Now, he didn't come out to perform. I want you to peep game. Quavo didn't come out and perform. Quavo came out and spoke. Now, you may not agree with what he said, or you may feel like it was fluff or whatever the case may be. I'm not here to talk about that. But I do want to point out that he did not come out here to perform a song. He came out to speak. His whole concern was gun violence. And, he said a few words. It wasn't too long, just a couple of minutes. That's all. So he speaks. And then we have another young man who comes out to speak. And he's supposed to be introducing her. Okay. He was the person who was supposed to come out, say a few words, get the crowd ready in order to introduce Kamala up to the stage. Well. Do you see her? Do you see her? I don't see anybody. I see no one. The crowd eventually starts laughing, mind you. The crowd starts laughing. There's no one here. She's not here. She's not here. Okay? She's not here. She's not here. Had that young man looking crazy. So he had to speak a few more moments, a couple more minutes. It's like 5 minutes, okay, that he has to continue to speak. And now, here she comes. Now, here she comes. I'm going to pause it because I actually do want you to hear her speech. But I want to point out how disorganized this rally is. And this isn't the first time that we've noted that Kamala Harris is chaotic and very disorganized. When she first got into office as vice president, within that first 2 years or so, there were a lot of people who were around her who kind of quit because they said that the way that she ran the office was so chaotic that they could not really get themselves together to even protect her, because it was one incident where she went somewhere, but she did not inform anyone of any importance that she was leaving. So the Secret Service was left behind. The Secret Service is supposed to follow the president and the vice president everywhere. That's the security detail. So you have to communicate with them to arrange when you want to leave, any trips you take, whether it's personal or not, you have to arrange for that, because depending on what's happening, the Secret Service has to vet places. They have to go ahead of you, and things of that nature, because your life is quite literally in their hands. So they have to protect you. They have to give their life to protect you, as a matter of fact. They're supposed to stand in front of the bullet for you. That's the secret. That's what the Secret Service is supposed to be. If they see a threat, they're supposed to die in the line of duty. If they have to. So I'm pointing that out to talk about, this isn't the first time that we've understood that she runs things chaotically. She doesn't have good management skills, delegation skills, communication skills. These are all skills of a good leader. When people have leadership qualities, they typically have good, clear, concise communication, because they want their instructions to be understood and followed. Because if whatever task doesn't get completed or it is done badly, all of that reflects on them as the leader. They have to take the fall for it. So good leaders like to be able to communicate properly. They want to be able to get the people around them that can get the jobs done that they need done, because a leader can't be everywhere doing everything. So therefore, they have to make sure that they get qualified people around them so that it can all run as a machine. Now, if she run her vice president office like that, What's she gonna do when if she wins the election as president? What's she gonna do? She gonna do the same thing. And this rally was just indicative of how disorganized it was. Because again, going back to the dead air, even if you were going to be a few minutes late or something, because life happens, whatever, even if you are going to be a bit late, the event should be set up in such a way where people don't even really notice it. You get there when you get there. Timely, yes, but you understand? All right. I want to go to commercial break. And then I'm going to talk about why Megan Thee Stallion? Why Megan Thee Stallion? Because this is a theme, a continued theme. So after these messages, we'll be right back. Because I need everybody to go to ashkicking.com. Go and get the best body butter on the market. We are in the last stretch of summertime. It's already August. Kids are going to be going back to school soon. You know, we're getting the last of our festivals, the last of the warm weather for the next, month and a half or so. And so we still got to keep ourselves looking and feeling our best. So you do that by clicking the link at the top of the chat with ashkicking.com. Get the awesome body butter and other personal care products that they have. If this is going to be your first purchase, then please take advantage of the 10% discount using the promo code Crimson. Once again, the link is pinned to the top of the chat for ashkicking.com. Don't know how many likes I need, but I owe you guys a bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to, okay? Go ahead and hit the like button. Now, Black women are starting to, they got on TikTok, they got on social media after the rally. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't do the super chats. My apologies. Thank you, 69 Certified said, hey, Kendra, what's the best way to contact you for coaching session? I really need your help. Email me, please. And thank you so much. Thank you, Ranger One said, VP Harris needs to be back with old school pimps downtown, Willie Brown or Montel Williams, and old school politics. Folks don't trust unmarried women in leadership. She married. Through a little hat. Thank you, Tokyo. So our culture is sexy red and twerking on the ancestors. What Kamala did was exactly in step with our current culture. Thank you, Jay, the light seekers. As soon as I hear they try to divide us. Thank you to Renzo. So in metaphysics, the color blue reps the throat chakra. So then wearing blue and interacting as such should tell you all what's not to come. Thank you, Corey Titus said, thank you, Ms. Crimson. We needed this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, moguls are very disrespectful and they actively participate in this foolishness in a serious presidential election. It demonstrates so much about what the community has become. Exactly. Thank you, Chris said Black women have deleted 30 million babies. The border czar brought in 15 million illegals. Blacks went from second largest voting bloc to third with more coming. Thank you, Too Tall said outstanding. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Oh, I don't want to skip over. I'm moving too fast. And thank you, Your Excellence, at just showing love. I appreciate you, sweetheart. How are you and the missus? Hopefully you guys are well. Thank you, Yusuke. Said, this is how much they respect us on the world stage in this country. Let's learn from this. I'm going to focus on nothing but my finances. Thank you, everyone, for your contributions. You know what? It doesn't, it don't pay for me to look at the chat really and read it, because I'm gonna start blocking people. We are not having none of that rhetoric. None of it. You tearing down. So we're not doing that. We are not doing boneyard rhetoric. Because listen, let me tell you something. Listen, let me tell you something. This is why I talk about values here on this channel. This is why I talk about it. This is why I've talked about 10 life values versus the lost value system. This is why I have consistently talked about bioculturons, the interplay between biology, culture, and environment, so that when things play out in real time, we can understand it in real time and not go back to being blind with old tropes, old talking points, things that don't serve us as a people. We gotta come out of that old way of thinking. It is the lost value system. We gotta come out of that. We have been here too long. Us and our ancestors have been here too long for us to act like we don't know what this country is about, for us to act like we don't know what this government is about, and our position in it, whether we like that position or not, whether it's a justified position or not, whether it's right or wrong, we have to understand it. Because only through understanding our position and how we are regarded environmentally and on the world stage, that is the only way that that's the pathway to making the necessary changes so that we as a group can be where we want to be. Okay? My mods, you can do your job. Because Mr. Sean Coles, every time I glance over to my chat, I'm not really liking the conversation. As Black people, we have to start understanding how the world actually works. Not how we think it should work, not how we wished it would work, but how it actually works. Because we do a lot of looking for saviors. A lot of looking for saviors. But we won't save ourselves. And we're the only ones that can. There is no politician. There is no bill. There is no law. There is nothing that this structure, this environment, or these sets of institutions are going to do to help us as a group of people leave the lost value system and go into the 10 life value system. There is no, if we can sit here and talk about systemic racism and white supremacy and then be surprised at how the system work, I don't get that. Somebody explain that to me. How is it that we as a group of people understand that the institutions themselves are structured in a way that doesn't help us really? And then when the cover is taken off and we see that as a reality, we start tripping out like, oh my God, that's what they really think. What did you think? What have we been saying? You thought something changed with any of this? Because you comfortable? So you thought it might have changed? We, us, through understanding how the world actually works and how this system actually works, we're the only ones that can save us and get us out of it so that we can be taken seriously. Speaking of being taken seriously, there's a reason why Meg Thee Stallion was brought out to shake her butt. Because when they come to ask for the Black vote, they are asking primarily for Black women to vote. Now, they want Black men to vote as well, but it's more of a security blanket. Okay? And the stick that is used is the you're a sellout if you don't vote this way. However, when it is aimed at Black people, it is more primarily aimed at Black women. Think about the last few years of the BET Awards. Think about that. What did Black women say? Black women said that Black women was Black culture. And in saying so, what did they do as a representation? What did they invite as a representation? When we look at even just this last BET, Kamal featured, talking about some they not like us, girl. But we show twerking, all kinds of sexual debauchery, all kinds of foolishness, the whole show. And Black women started coming out saying it after the BET show, like, how many times do we gotta see Ice Spice, Sexy Red, Meg Thee Stallion, all of them come twerk and put their booty in? Like, how many times we gotta look at that? And why is that art? Why is that the music industry as represented by Black women? Like, what? Like, why? What? It's too many of them. It's too many of them doing the same thing. Do you understand? However, Black women as a group advocated for this type of behavior and said that this type of behavior was representative of Black women being free, and we can do what we want, and we're bosses, and this and that. And that was tied into the whole boss bee, bad bee uniform and behavior set. So when you got so much of that foolishness, why else? Why would she not do that? Why would she not bring Meg Thee Stallion out and think that y'all was gonna go for that when just it was all good just a few months ago when they was twerking and Kamala showed up and everybody was cheering and talking about Boss B and black women is a culture and all of that. So she think it's okay. So that's why she did that. That's why she did it. So we're not going to ignore why she did it. I just don't like that it happened. I still don't like that it happened. To me, there's no excuse. But we're not going to ignore the other side of that either. Because if you was going to do that, since Kamala is an AKA, she could have had different female business owners and entrepreneurs, successful business owners or AKAs with high paying jobs and come and talk. Come and talk. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The AKAs is endorsing our sister Kamala and look at the success and da-da-da-da. They could have did that. Now, I wouldn't have been able to relate to it because I'm not a soror, but I mean, I would have took that over the twerking. But no, she was trying to appeal to the masses of black women because it's how many black women are pledges. Yeah, there's a culture of it, but that would have only spoken to that demographic or that part of the demographic who are sororities, and even more restricted down to AKAs, right? So no. She was trying to go to the broader sector of black women. So why not twerking? Why not twerking? You see? So she really couldn't go the Greek sorority fraternity route. She had to go the Meg Thee Stallion route. But black women, this is an indictment on the appearance value. Now maybe you'll try to understand why a bad appearance value is so critical to the entire group. Because when they try to talk to black women, now they talk down to you to the level that you at because you below the earth. Okay? You're a speck on the shoe. So they don't feel like they have to speak to you with intelligence because you don't present yourself with intelligence. You talk all that black excellence and black girl magic, but all that culminate into is twerking and showing your butt. So that doesn't equate to anything. You're out of order. And you've been out of order. So now you got a bad appearance value that you contributed to the most. Now you want to talk about it was a time and place for the twerking. And I agree. There is a time and a place for it. As a lioness, I'm never down for random twerking in different parts. And I'm never down for that. I want to be spoken to with intelligence because I have a brain to process information. So I don't need music. I don't need a club atmosphere. I don't need a DJ. I don't need no rap. I don't need anything in order to understand the information that is being given to me. I don't need all of that. That's a distraction. We need to get down to brass tacks and business. What are we going to do about what's going on in this country? Because you've been vice president for 4 years, ma'am, under a Biden administration. So you're just as culpable for the state of the country as he was. So now what are you going to do to make it better? Not to mention, you realize that she's being appointed as the candidate just because Biden stepped down and she's the VP. You realize she didn't have to run against no other Democratic nominee to get that spot, to prove that she was. It's just because she's the VP. So now we gotta deal with her. Now we gotta deal with her. That's not democratic. That's not how democracy works. You don't get to appoint people that now we have to quote unquote vote for. That's not how the system's supposed to work. That's not how that's supposed to work. But you see how they do it? See how they do stuff? Other Democratic nominees were supposed to have an opportunity to step up to the plate after Biden stepped down and challenge Kamala for the right to run as the top Democratic nominee. I just wanted y'all to just think about that fact. Just think about that. There was supposed to be a running between her and the Democratic Party was supposed to, it was supposed to be other political nominees that could say, you know what, I can run against Kamala for the position of being the Democrats' presidential candidate. I almost want to listen to the speech, but the speech that she gave, I'm not even gonna play the speech. Y'all can go. I don't know if I want to listen to it. Her whole speech, we gonna listen to a little bit because her whole. Just listen to a little bit. Just listen to a little bit. Just.
to thank Tyler for that incredible introduction. I invited him and several other young entrepreneurs to come and visit with me at the White House. And we had a really very long and important conversation about the future of America.
If it's low,
represent the best of our future. Thank you for that. And please give it up for Quavo and Megan. So it is so good to see everyone. And let me also thank our incredible members of Congress who are with us this evening. Senator John Ossoff, Senator Raphael Warnock, and Representative Nikema Williams, to Mayor Andre Dickens, thank you for
I'm gonna fast forward a little.
Business now. Entire career. For example, as Attorney General of California, I took on one of our country's largest for-profit colleges that was scamming students. Well, Donald Trump ran a for-profit college that scammed students. As a prosecutor, I specialized in child sexual abuse cases and sexual abuse cases. Well, Trump was found liable for committing sexual abuse. And as an attorney general, I held the big Wall Street banks accountable for fraud. Donald Trump was just found guilty of fraud. 34 counts. So in this campaign, I will proudly put my record against his any day of the week. Any day of the week. Including, for example, on the issue of immigration. So I was the Attorney General of a border state. In that job, I walked underground tunnels between the United States and Mexico on that border with law enforcement officers. I went after transnational gangs, drug cartels, and human traffickers that came into our country illegally. I prosecuted them in case after case, and I won. Donald Trump, on the other hand, has been talking a big game about securing our border, but he does not walk the walk. Or as my friend Quavo would say, he does not walk it like he talks it.
Here's my thing. There's a certain amount of when you're running against somebody, you do juxtapose yourself against them and you put yourself in a more positive light and you put them in a more negative light. All candidates do that. All candidates have done that. I'm not mad that she did it, right? I'm not mad that she said, you know, hey, he isn't a good candidate for these reasons. Okay. However, you gotta at some point tell me why you're a good candidate. You can spend a minute or two and tell me why he's not a good candidate for me to vote for and why I should not vote for him. Okay. I get you there. I get you on that. But now, at some point, you're going to have to tell me why we got to vote for you. It's not enough to run on the platform of, you don't want Donald Trump in there, so you might as well put me in office. That was Biden's political platform the last time. Well, you don't want Biden, Trump in there, so you might as well put me in there. And she's doing the same thing. We're not going to talk about what you've already done as a VP. What have you, because you've been in the White House for 4 years. We're not going to act like you wasn't there. You were there, and you have things in your purview as a vice president that you must do as well, and that you are responsible for as well. So what are those successes? I want to hear about different policies that I don't want to keep hearing about you fought for this and you fought for that, but did you win any of the fights? Did you win any of those political fights? I want to know about the successes you had. I fought for this right and I fought for that right. Yeah, but did you win any of them? Any of them? You're not going to win them all, but did you win any? What's your record? What's your win-loss record? When you're trying to get things pushed through the Senate and you're trying to get things pushed through the House of Representatives and all again, when you're trying to get, what's your win-loss record for that? Your platform cannot be, you don't want Trump in there, so you might as well vote for me. Because if that's the play, we might as well not even have this farce of an election. Go ahead, put her in office by appointment, not vote, electoral college or otherwise. And then we let her hold the seat like an authoritarian dictator. Just remove it. Just remove the terms. She ain't got to answer to nobody, and we can't get her out of there. Right? Because we don't want Trump in there, right? We scared of that, right? We scared of that. We scared of Project 2025, and we scared that he gonna be in there and be racist, and we scared that, he gonna get in there and enact this law and enact that law and this, that, and the third. We scared of that, right? So we might as well. So what's the point? What's the point of the election? Why are we even bothering with that? Why bother? Just put her in office and then just take your gloves off. Throw your hands up. Because she's the right candidate for us, right? She gonna look out for us, right? She gonna look out for everybody. How many is in favor of just no election? Just put Kamala in there. Since we don't want Trump in there, we don't like him, right? There's no conversation to have about Trump and what good he may do, because he's evil. So if he's evil and Kamala's good, who's all in favor of no election? Just put her in office and then pray after that. No. What about this? Let's get rid of the whole Republican Party. Let's replace them with somebody else We don't want to do that? I mean, because the Democratic Party has been the party for us, right? So let's get rid of the Republican Party altogether.
Do you support reparations for Black people?
Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination, segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, Black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of Black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects Black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit Black children, Black families, Black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this: any policy that will benefit Black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No, because whatever benefits that Black family will benefit that community and society as a whole in the country, right?
Thank you, vicious people. Thank you. M.R. Nugru said a convicted felon and the new Sarah Palin. Is this the only two candidates that America has to offer? Are these really the best of the best? The world is watching. Thank you. Steve said, I'm late. It's all good. Thank you. Ranger One said, how will VP Harris respond to the 2025 to the 60th anniversary of the Moynihan Report? Folks, watch out for September 2024. Hit the Bell riots. Hint, the Bell riots are coming to California, you know. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Ezekiel. He gifted a membership. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I appreciate you. Thank you once again, Ranger One. So how will VP Harris manage America while men withdraw from the system? Harris versus Trump underlining battle. Who is who controls the men? Thank you, Terenzo said, you all do realize a sorority is a society of sorcerers learning sorcery, don't you? Seriously asking. Thank you, Brother Man said, this is a femininity channel and a woman has to say it. Thank you, Wayne said, all they have to do is respect us during election time. What you gonna do for us? Kamala, daughter of Shamala, pay up with respect or get gone. Thank you, Ed. It's exhausting, isn't it? Very, very. Thank you, Chemical JDZ said this was the whole play in the first place. Vote for Joe and sneak Kamala in when he's aged out. I felt that way too. As soon as he announced her as his VP, and I said, oh, they're going to make her president. They're going to make her the president. They're going to. Thank you again, Ezekiel. So Mr. Crimson, I nominate you to replace this female. Thank you, Bernard. Said she didn't compete for no win a single primary for the nomination like an African despot, handing over power to their unqualified child. The sheer entitlement. Thank you, Chicago Channel said for the political foolishness. Thank you so much. Right. He was too old to do 2 terms, if nothing else. I'm like, he might can get away with this first term, but he either gonna have to bow out or he gonna pass away. That's what I thought. And I said, if he passes away or whatever, she's automatically gonna be the acting president. She's automatically gonna be the acting president. Which is essentially what she is now. She's the acting president, because if Biden is essentially not cognitively sound enough to hold the position, she's essentially the president. You understand? She's acting president now. The vice president automatically succeeds the president if something should happen to the president during his term. Anyways. And we're going to eventually talk about Trump at the National Association of Black Journalists. He showed up there. I noticed that there was not one black man on that stage. There was not one black man on that stage. It was 3 black women on that stage. Not a single man in sight. Why would you not have a man up there? Again, with this black woman magic foolishness. And he got up there and was like, excuse me? Because the way they was talking, they tried to black man Mr. Cartwright. And he had to check them like, you ain't Mrs. Cartwright, and even if you was. You don't talk to me like that. Who you talking to? He checked him good. He was like, oh, y'all, you real rude. Huh? I watched that whole thing. They had an attitude. They had black men. They had attitude like they was going to talk to their man and go through his phone. And that they had that roll neck attitude. He checked that real quick. He was like, oh, no, baby, I'm an old white man, an old rich white man. You're not going to talk to me like that. I'm Mr. Cartwright. What is wrong with you? He checked him real good. He said he was Mr. Cartwright, baby. He said you can't talk to him like that. You can't talk to him like that. He Mr. Cartwright. Get it together. Get yourself together. Talk to me with your neck rolling. Get straighten up when you talk to me. Talk to me like you understand I'm Mr. Cartwright. I'll talk. But that little attitude, we not doing that. He kept swerving her too, because the first one out the gate was real rude. He just kept on hitting her with, oh, you rude. We not talking to you. They was mad. They was mad at Trump. And listen, he gets up there and acts a fool. You understand what I'm saying? He gets up there and acts a fool. He wanted to say that so bad. Ooh, he wanted to say that so bad because he just kept on saying, he said, you know, you was about 30, 35 minutes late, though. Ooh, he wanted to say that so bad. Y'all was on Black people time, right? Because he just knew he couldn't get away with that one. They were going to crucify him if he said that. They was already mad at the black jobs. He said, I can't say that. I can't say that. But you know what I'm trying to say now. Don't act like you don't know what I'm trying to say. Because you're late. Thank you again, Bernard. How quickly did you forget that Shirley Chisholm was the first African-American woman to run for president? Exactly. Because Quavo got up there and talked about Kamala Harris, the first black woman. No, it was Shirley Chisholm. Thank you, Dana, for always dropping those gems. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I appreciate you. Okay, I'm going to get on up out of here. But I had to speak on this. This was ridiculous. But in any case, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure. Please, before we go, could we boot 69? For this? Because we can't be critical of her because she Kamala. Go over there and vote for your mama then, since you love her so much. Please boot them. Because any of my mom, I'm not gonna leave until I'm sure that they're gone. Let me look. Thank you. Thank you. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonite.